What's going on, everybody? It's Zoe with No Days Off, here to bring you episode 1 of WNBA Weekly Recap. This is a new series that I'm bringing here to the channel, going over what's happening inside the WNBA for the past week in regards to games, player movement, player development, you name it, I'm going to have it right here. This is not to get confused with my DFS content or my prop betting content that'll still be on the channel. This is just a different series where I'm not going to focus too much on the sports betting side, just talking about the players and games and giving my opinions and what I think is going on in the league. If you guys are enjoying it, you guys want to see more of this, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of these videos. Hopping straight over, going over to the WNBA website. It was a pretty good weekend. We got to see all 12 teams take the court, all the players, all the ladies out there in action. And we got some history that was made in Breanna Stewart, her debut for the New York Libs. She went out there and she dropped a 45-12 double-double, franchise record-breaking double-double, apparently, and also a career high for her as well. And Brittany Griner's well-awaited, well-anticipated return back to the court. In front of the Phoenix Mercury crowd, she dropped a 27 and 10 double-double. Honestly, BG, she looked pretty good out there, and can't wait to touch on that a little bit more when we get down to how the Mercs are doing in regards in the standings. Speaking of the standings, going over, I'm not going to lie. League view wise, looking at standings, I'm a little shocked that the Chicago Sky are up at the top, but after looking at the roster, looking at the playback of the games and stuff, I can honestly explain to you why they're sitting at the top, and I'm going to hit that as well. And then the Connecticut Sun, this is no surprise to me at all. If you're surprised that the Sun are sitting at the top, and I honestly feel like they'll be in that 1, 2, 3, 4 range as the season continues and progresses and goes on. It's honestly no surprise to me, and I'm going to tell you why about that as well. So looking at the records for everybody, we have 5 undefeated teams in the Sun, the Sky, the Aces, the Sparks, and the Dallas Wings. Don't sleep on my Wings. They looked really good in their season opener going up against the Dream. Beautiful ball, beautiful defense all around. Loved what I saw from the Wings, and hopefully it progresses. The Mystics and the Libs, they went 1-1. They played 2 games this weekend and pretty much just tied, but they're sitting right there in the middle of the pack. And then down at the bottom, teams that lost out going on 1 or 2. We have the Dream, the Lynx, the Storm, the Fever, and unfortunately the Mercs. Going over to our conference view, looking at it, the Sun and the Sky, like I said, sitting at the top of their standings. If you want to get into the nitty-gritty in regards to why are the Sun sitting right here at the top of the standings in regards to what was honestly going to be expected of them coming into the season. I know it was a big thing was made in regards to Jonquel Jones leaving and going to go sign with the New York Liberty. But when you think about it and you look at it, I'd look at this Fever game, but to me, it's the Fever. I really don't have too high expectations for the Fever coming into the season. I still think they're a young team, rebuilding team, still trying to find that identity. A lot of turnover has happened for them over the past 3 years, and I don't feel like they've had any consistency at all whatsoever. And I feel like that's just going to continue. I know they had a really high draft pick in regards to Aaliyah Boston coming there, and granted, in her own right, she's looked great for them, but not going to be able to hold a candle to championship contending teams such as the Sun. I know they've fallen short for the past 3 seasons in regards to trying to make it there, but still, this is a very vet-heavy team that knows what they're doing out there in regards to going out there and just playing. And I'm going to show you exactly why. Going over to the box score, looking at it, when you look at the Sun, pretty much this is the team that they've had for the past several seasons. All these ladies know how to play with each other. Dewana Bonner, Alyssa Thomas, Breanna Jones, Heidemann. They've all been here. They all know what to do in regards to the team. They've all played with each other. And they've all played with each other without Jonquel Jones. That's why they're still having success. That's why there's no fall off, even though Jonquel has left. When you've already had a player in Alyssa Thomas who's been playing lights out, not scoring wise, but in regards to everything that she does, in regards to her playmaking, her rebounding, her defense, her scoring that she does have, you're not really missing too much. Last season, and we saw it, Jonquel had a down season last season, was struggling to stay on the court, was not consistent in her shooting, her defense, none of it. It was honestly horrible, and she was kind of a non-factor for most of the season when you had players like Heidemann having to step up for her, Courtney Williams having a splash here in their big games, Breanna Jones getting significant run and actually putting up these exact same numbers that she's putting up now because Jonquel Jones is not able to play. It's no surprise because this is still pretty much the same team, same core. Yes, they added pieces such as Tiffany Hayes, Rebecca Allen, and honestly, those 2 things have somewhat helped. Granted, Hayes has not had that big game, that big splash, but she doesn't need to. That's not yet, but it's going to happen. It's a new team. She's going to have to get acclimated to them, and it's going to happen. I know Tiffany Hayes right now, she's taking at least double-digit field goal attempts, which I do expect. The scoring only dropped 8 points. I know she struggled in that first game to stay on the court, honestly, due to foul trouble. She picked up quick fouls in the beginning of the game. But that's going to improve. And once that improves, the feel, the being able to play off each other, we're going to see her go from 8 points. I at least say she should average close to 13, 14 points this season. And I won't be surprised when that happens, because it's only going to go up from them. That 22 minutes a game, I see her getting at least close to what Brianna Jones is playing, that 27, 28 minutes a game. If that, I wouldn't be surprised if she was to push 30. And then, of course, you got DeWanna Bonner there. Bonner, we know she's a bona fide scorer. We know what she brings on the defensive end as well. We know if she needs to, she can go out there. She can rebound with the best of them. She honestly is a Swiss Army knife and can do it all, and has always kind of been the X factor for the Sun. And I think we're going to actually finally see that more this season, just because she's going to have to actually score and pick up the load a little bit. But when you have pretty much a point forward in Alyssa Thomas, can get ahead of steam, drive to the rim, can finish around the rim very well, a great rebounder, great playmaker, and really good on the defensive end in regards to her blocks or steals, you're not going to fall off too much. That's why the Sun are going to have that success this season. Biggest things that really stood out to me for the Sun to really start is really, they're running their core, of course. Brianna Jones, I really expect her to kind of play more minutes, so to say, but it seems more they're leaning on Alyssa Thomas. It looks like Brianna, she's going to still stay capped underneath that 30-minute mark, which I really was expecting her to play higher minutes, just because she is, to me, a very dominant force as well. There's not really too many women that can be able to stick with her. She can back you down. She's pretty decent in regards to her mid-range shooting and her finishing around the rim, but I'm not going to complain too much of what she's actually brought to the table and done for them to start to see it. And then Alyssa Thomas, biggest thing, of course, that free throw shooting. If she's giving you 80% from the free throw line a game, I will greatly take that, because we know how much she has struggled drastically over the seasons in regards to her shooting, and and how she has definitely lost some games before with that. Going back to the standings, looking at it, then we have the Chicago Sky. I'm going to go ahead and come straight out and say I did not expect the Sky to go 2-0 to start the season. I definitely was expecting them to lose to the Phoenix Mercury for the fact of Elizabeth Williams. I didn't really feel like she was going to be able to hold BG to anything, which she really kind of didn't hold BG. BG still went out there and dropped 27 on her head, had a lot of blocks, and looked really good, dominant out there. It's really more the supporting cast of Phoenix, which we'll get to that, and that's really why they lost that game right there. But in these first two games, the Sky taking on the Lynx 77-66, they did really well inside that game, going up against them. And then looking over here at what they did against the Mercury. Both of these games, honestly, the footprint was there, and they came out with tenacity. They came out, they knew their game plan, they knew what they were doing. And as much slack as I give Wade in regards to what he's done in the past, especially when he had all the stars in Sloot, CP3 and everything, he's done good with what he has for this core, for these pieces that he has now. I cannot complain. Kalia Copper, she's going out there. She's giving you everything pretty much. We already knew she was going to come out like a Tasmanian devil. This is pretty much her team now. But being able to actually, get what you get out of Courtney Williams, Rebecca Gardner coming off the bench, going out there, do what she's doing. Dana Evans, Elizabeth Williams, all these players, they're playing to their identity of what they want to run. And that's really what has helped them so far. When you have a player in Copper who can go out there, she's twitchy, she's fast, she can get to the rim, she's pretty crafty and finished. And then that three-point shooting, her three-point shot is looking really good, really nice. Hopefully that stays up for the whole season. I really kind of don't see them losing too many games if they can continue to play with this. If you're going to get that production from Elizabeth Williams out there, her rebounding, her defense that she's actually giving and bringing to the table, you're going to do pretty good. And then Courtney Williams, I don't expect too much from Courtney Williams. 12 points, yes, that's nice and all. The assist is really what I care about from Courtney Williams, because she is more of a playmaker. I can see her playmaking and setting people up, but knowing she can go out there and drop some buckets on your head, that's not bad to have at all in any way, shape, or form. But if they stay together and they continue to play, and as soon as Marbury gets her footing, I know Marbury, she didn't play in this game, but that's a three-point sniper that you have right there. Once you get that footing from Marbury, and I know what she brings on the defensive end, this team, they're not going to look too bad. Not too much of a fall off. I'm actually really, really excited to see how that's going to look to continue. And definitely a team that I personally was sleeping on to start the season. And honestly, they got my respect, and I will not sleep on that anymore. Going down to the Washington Mystics, looking at them, in all honesty, I don't know what I really expected from the Mystics. I will be honest, I didn't expect them to beat the New York Liberty in this game, just due to the fact of course, you got the big names. You got Sloot, you got Sabrina, you got John Quell, you got Brianna Stewart. They came out and they shut Brianna Stewart down. They shut her down. Brianna Stewart really did not have that great of a game out there going up against them at all. And I was kind of shocked because Brianna's played the Mystics pretty well throughout her career. But the biggest thing that I had the issue with in this game, and I know this is kind of more talking on the Liberty side, it was just the fact that you let Sabrina Ionescu take 20 shots. She doesn't need to take 20 shots. No. When you have a player as dominant as Breanna Stewart, she's the one that needs to be getting those shots up. She's the one that needs to be having the ball in her hand. She's such a force out there. I really wasn't understanding Sabrina jacking up all those shots. Yeah, she went out there. She dropped 18, 8 rebounds, but it was horrible shot selection. Really just trying to find her footing from three. She went 2 of 9 from three. That was honestly just killer. I know they were trying to shoot their way back into the game, but it did not look good at all in that first game. But it was clicking on all cylinders for the Washington Mystics. EDD coming out there was, honestly, she started the first half hot. Looked really great. 13 points, a couple of steals, the assists, a couple of rebounds. Then the second half, she kind of just died off. Really didn't do too much, and really that was when we saw Natasha Cloud take over. Atkins going out there doing her thing. It was and Sykes. Sykes really, she had a very big imprint on the defensive end of it in regards to, as you can see, 5 steals. Looked really good out there. Her 9 points that she was able to go up there and put up, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Looked really great. But EDD, she took a back burner, back seat. They're sophomore now, and Austin, she looked all right. I was really kind of expecting more from her in this game, but she definitely made up for it in the second game and going up against the Sun. But still, I'm really expecting a big season from Austin, just making that next step. I'm really not expecting them to lean too much on EDD unless they have to, which I'm hoping that they're not going to. I want to see EDD actually stay healthy for the whole season. I know that she said to start the season, this is the strongest that she's ever felt. She's good. She's ready to go. She's ready to rock for the season. And that's going to be determined because she has not played a full season in quite some time. So it's going to be really interesting. Going to their second game that they played, the Mystics and the Sun, in that game, they lost by 6. Not bad, but not the same production that they had in the first game from Sykes. She was just mid-level, didn't really do much. And then, of course, as you see, EDD, she went off 7 for 17, dropped 19 points, 11 rebounds, was actually out there doing a lot more than what she did inside that first game, which is to be expected. But going up against Alyssa Thomas and Brianna Jones, I kind of expected her to fall off a little bit. I honestly expected Austin to struggle going up against Brianna Jones and AT, but through these first couple games, it looks like rebounding and the centers going up against the Sun isn't going to be too much of a problem so far. It's definitely going to be determined as the season goes on. But really, they just didn't get the same productions. Atkins, she really didn't put up too much. Like I said, Sykes really wasn't much cooking from her. But Austin, EDD, they both showed up. They both played really well in that game. As you see, Austin put up 21 points, was amazing. That's more of what I'm expecting for her to do this season. Not 21 every night, but I'm expecting like a 12. At least like a 12 to 15 range in regards to her points, and definitely at least averaging about 8 rebounds a game. I don't see her with those 4 to 5 rebound type games this season, just because she looked good overseas when she was playing overseas. She looked good to end the season last season, was playing very big minutes in a very big role as a rookie last season. I expect much of that same going into this season as well. Sitting at 1-1, they will figure it out. I'm not too worried about the Mystics in regards to what they have. Now going back to New York Liberty. That first game was horrible. Was honestly just straight up horrible. Horrible. Completely. They did not look good at all. Like I said, for everything that they did, why is it not letting me see just the regular old team schedule? I don't want tickets. I just want to see the games. Show me the 2023. This is horrible recording. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, I don't know why, but for some reason, looking at the Libs, they don't want me to look at their record and see how horrible they did in that first game, so I can't point it out to you. But they did not play great at all in that first game whatsoever. It was honestly a butt chewing to go ahead and just start the game. Period. They looked very flat, very flat. I'm trying to see pull up the box score from that game, but it's not actually showing it at all, which is really weird and kind of stupid. Okay, you know what? That's fine. I can look at it from the Mystics standpoint. Where are the Mystics? So that first game was not a good game at all whatsoever. Looking at what they went out there and did, The Mystics, they legit went out there and they curb stomped them from the jump. Like they were on their heads. When you have a team that has Breanna Stewart, like I said, Lainey, Jonquel Jones, Courtney Vandersloot, Sabrina Ionescu, I don't expect them to really drop too many games and lose by like the double digits deficit that they had in that game was putrid, and it was ridiculous, and it should have never actually happened. It was not good from the start. They had a lot of lapses in defense, a lot of turnovers and everything just out there. Turnovers, they had 20 turnovers. 20 turnovers. You're not going to win too many. You're not going to win too many games with 20 turnovers. And of course, one of your main culprits of it was Sloot. I know she could be turnover prone here and there, but Sloot just was bad decision making. I know as this team continues to play together, get their gel and everything, so on and so forth, it's going to look better, but it was horrible. I know they didn't really have the best training camp because Sloot, she got concussed, didn't really get to play too much in training camp, and the same thing with Jones, was still getting her legs underneath her, and then I believe that Stewart really didn't play in training camp as well. So I'm gonna give them a pass on that first game. I'm gonna give them a pass for now, but I expect more from them going forward in regards to what they're gonna bring. And they brought that in the second game, going up against the Fever, which that was the game that I said I'm not gonna read too much into what happened in that game, just simply for the fact of it's the Fever. This is the Fever. This is one of the bottom teams in the standings that's going to continue to probably be one of those bottom teams in the standings continuously. They're full of young players. They're still trying to figure out their identity overall, but I don't know. When you look at it, yes, Breanna Stewart, she went out there, she was able to drop her 45 points, looked dominant. That's what I more expected for her to do. From the jump, she was on their heads. She was on their heads from the jump, which is really good. I like to see the aggression. Those 21 shots, that's more of what I want to see. I want to see at least 15 to 18 or so shots for her, and I want Sabrina to somewhat take that back seat just a little bit, do more of the playmaking, be selective from three, like what you were. You went 5 of 3 from three, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. You still went out there, you dropped 9 points. You were a plus 20. So your playmaking, your defense, all that was much better in this game. That's what you need to do. I know that this is considered Sabrina's team, but to me, this is Breanna Stewart's team. Stewie left the Storm to come to the Liberty to play with Sabrina, to play with all these players. You need to sit back just a little bit. Let Stewie do what Stewie do. Be that supporting cast. Sabrina, you don't got to carry the load. You don't got to do that. And I kind of think that they even it out just a little bit. Now, the other thing that's going to happen, Jonquel Jones, you have to carry your weight. She was only able to play 17 minutes. I know she was a little bit ticky-tacky fouls. I know they're bringing her back slowly, working her back in, getting her conditioned. That's one thing. Jonquel does not start the seasons hot, or does not start the seasons, honestly, ramping up with minutes. I don't know why. This has been a continuous thing, but hopefully she figures it out and she gets it done. But she was able to go out there, drop 14 points, 3 rebounds, no blocks, no steals, none of that. Definitely going to be a lot more I expect from Jonquel, especially going into the future, especially when she gets to take on her former team in the Sun. I want to see how that's going to look. But then also Courtney Vandersloot, 2 turnovers, I will accept. I like that much better than what she had in regards to the 4 turnovers that she had before, and 8 assists. This assist number, that's what I expect Sloot to go out there and do. Just be a playmaker, play hard-nosed defense, score a little bit whenever we need you to, but I really don't want to see you as like the second or third person taking the most shots. Not at all. I expect that to be Breanna Stewart, Sabrina, and Jonquel. That's what needs to be done. And honestly, the supporting cast, Sloot, Kayla Thornton, Lainey, that just needs to continue to rotate, and they just all need to just do their parts. And honestly, this super team will continue to be the super team that they are expected and supposed to be. It's going to be kind of slept on in regards to Lainey and Thornton, but they got 2 ace defenders on their team, and I really, really do love that for the Liberty. That's one thing that definitely stood out to me that I really did love that they were able to do. All right, looking at the Dream, like I said, they lost their game that they played against my I just want the schedule. I don't want no PDF version of it. They lost their first game going up against my Dallas Wings. You know, I can't say that I'm surprised because, you know, it's my Dallas Wings, man. They went out there, they played hard-nosed defense. That defensive identity was there. They did their thing, and I'm really, really, really actually proud of that. Make sure I got the right game here. Make sure this isn't the preseason game at all. Yep. All right, cool. Got the right game. All right, so the Dallas Wings taking on the Atlanta Dream. The Dream, This team, I still think that they're gonna be in rebuild mode. I know that Howard, she's expected to come back and make a splash in her second season. Not to take anything away from that, I think that she's definitely gonna do that. She looked really great overseas when she was playing out there, but the rest of the roster, it doesn't really pop out to me. I know they picked up Alicia Gray. For my sports betters, I'm sorry about the fantasy points. I know she hooked us with that last turnover, but Alicia Gray, she's a great player, great in her own right. She just has to get her legs back under her. She's streaky whenever she's shooting, but she plays that hard nosed defense, and she's definitely gonna definitely deliver more for the Dream. I know that. Definitely speaking as a player, as a person that likes her game and everything. Cheyenne Parker, she picked up exactly from where she left off last season. She looked great out there controlling the glass, that mid range, finishing around the rim. She looked really, really good out there, and I think that's going to continue for the season as well. But they're going to have to get some more production from other players like Nia Coffey, Ari McDonald, Hillman, Asia Durr. I mean, Asia, I'm not going to fault her. She came in, she looked all right. 12 points, 2 assists, a rebound, decent in her own right. I know she's a streaky shooter, but Danielle Robinson, I don't understand that one at all. I really don't understand her being on this roster. Maybe just for the veteran presence, but just this team, just looking at it, I still see them as a rebuild and bottom of the pack team. Nothing pops out to me. Your two best players are Cheyenne and Rainey. Like that's just it to me. There's just too much to be desired from this team. Hopefully, as the season goes on, it'll get better. I don't know. Hopefully, they give Haley Jones more minutes. Maybe. I just, I don't know. I don't know. They're a team that's really just scratching my head. I don't like what I really saw from them to start the season. And then last but not least, over in the Eastern Conference, we have our Indiana Fever, who, man, they just tanking. They tanking again. No. All right. So in all honesty, they didn't look bad in their game against the Sun. They came out, they got slapped in the face a little bit, but then of course Kelsey Mitchell doing what Kelsey Mitchell does, the firecracker off the bench. She started to go ahead and light it up and let it be known that she is a scorer and she could definitely dominate out here in that game. And she went out there and she was giving them some buckets. She was the reason why they got brought back in that game. And then of course Alyssa Smith, she looked decent. Not the greatest game. I expect more in regards to her scoring standpoint, but like I said, when you're facing a veteran team in the Sun who likes to play some pretty decent defense, it's going to be a little tough to see that happen. But Kelsey Mitchell, like I said, went out there. She dropped a 20 piece on them. And then Leah Boston in her first debut, her first game, good rookie, fouled out, unfortunately, 6 fouls. But she dropped 15 and snagged 9 rebounds. Looked really good out there on the glass. Her defensive presence was felt a little bit. Got a steal, got a block. Looked pretty good, looked all right. Looking at their second game, seeing how this went right here, going up against Liberty, kind of was a flip-flop in regards to it. Smith, she found her stroke. She was looking pretty decent out there. 1-1 from the three-point line, 6 of 13 field goal. She dropped 16 points, pulled down 12 rebounds. Looked really great. I like that. The reason why she was able to get those 12 rebounds, Aaliyah Boston was boxing out the whole night. That was it. That was why that went off. But I expect Smith to be more of that stretch forward position, like what she wants to do out there, splashing that three. That's something that she's worked on quite a bit, especially in the off seasons. So I expect that to continue to happen. And then Leah Boston, that board number that'll go up. But really, it's that defensive and what she's bringing right there. 1 steal, 2 blocks. That's what they have her in there for in regards to what she brings on defensive end. And then the 15 points. Pretty good stat line all around. Kelsey Mitchell, of course, came back down to earth. You're going to see that to continue the season. She'll have a hot game, off game, hot game, off game, hot, off. So don't be too surprised by that. But like I said, just looking at this roster all the way around, it's just nothing just pops out. They're going to be bottom of the team again. They're going to be in the lottery again once again. Not contending for the playoffs or anything like that. That's not what they're doing. I don't see that happening at all, especially no time soon. Not with some of these teams that we have out here. They're not going to be able to make a splash, especially not in the Eastern Conference at all. Not when you have the Mystics, the Liberty, the Sun, and the Sky, all of them contending and looking really great. These two teams are going to continue to be at the bottom, and that's honestly how it's going to stay right there. All right, getting ready to head over to the Western Conference. Doing pretty good in regards to this. If you guys are enjoying this, make sure you guys subscribe so you guys don't miss any of this content, and hit the like button if you guys are actually enjoying what I am putting out right here. Talk to me down in the comment sections. Let me know what you guys think about the Eastern Conference. Tell me, who do you think impressed you the most in regards to their team and their wins? And what do you expect to see coming forward out of the East? How do you think this is going to look next week? Who do you think is going to be at the top? Is it still going to be the Sun, or do you feel like the Sky are going to be able to hop the Sun, or the Mystics? Are they going to go up and take the top seed? You guys let me know down in the comment section what you guys are thinking about that. Going over to the not the Eastern, the Western Conference. I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit disappointed that the first game that we got to see the new looking Aces, which not so new but new at the same time, was going up against a rebuilding team in the Storm. And if you look at this score and you tell me that you don't feel like this is a rebuilding team, or that, oh, the Storm, they still got pieces, no, they lost Brianna Stewart. Sue Bird retired. The Storm are tanking. They are rebuilding. They are legit rebuilding to get a high draft pick to get Caitlin Clark. That is what I see. Caitlin Clark is going to the Storm. If you don't think that Caitlin Clark is going to be playing on the Storm next season, you're wrong. I honestly see Caitlin Clark as probably one of the best players to go and play for the Storm. As I look at it, I think that she would definitely be that franchise cornerstone that they want to go ahead and plant their flag on, and just go ahead, do the same thing like what they did with Brianna Stewart. 105-64. I'm going to kill two birds with one stone because the Storm only play one game, the Aces only play one game. We'll just talk about both of them right here from the standpoint of this game all around. But, man, it was ugly. The Aces that came out, of course, you got CP3 making her debut. She went out there, she dropped 12 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Kind of what I expect. I expect her to just coast throughout the season, only play 23 minutes. Of course, when you blow a team out by practically daggone 40, you really don't have to play that many minutes at all whatsoever. Audrey Wilson ran MVP. She went out there, she did her thing, dropped 13 points, 13 rebounds, was snagging them left and right. When you got Candace Parker out there that you got to worry about, stretch big, be able to pull the bigs out of the paint. I definitely feel like Audrey's going to be able to continue to dominate down there in the paint in regards to her rebounding and everything that she's going to do down there as well. Jackie Young. A lot of people kind of surprised that she popped off for 23 points, but if you go back and look at the start of last season, Jackie started the season off hot. And once again, Jackie is slept on in regards to her scoring. She's a slasher. She is a three-point shooter. She's pretty decent in the mid-range. I love Jackie's game. I've always loved her game. She was the most improved player last season for a reason, and she's showing you that once again. Same thing for Kelsey Plum. Kelsey coming out there, dropped 23 points. She went 5 of 3 from 3. This is a deadly three-point shooting team. You have two snipers out there, and Jackie and Kelsey Plum. That's what they go out there and they do. And once they kill you on that three, they're twitchy, they're fast. They're kind of like, not going to say they're Kalia Copper is, but in their own rights, they got that twitch. They got that quick first step to them. They can cut and get to the rim, and they're actually pretty decent free throw shooters as well. So, not too surprised in regards to the duo of Plum and Jackie go ahead and popping off. And then when you have the veteran, vet herself and Chelsea Gray, this team all around, man, they're built for the postseason. They're built to make a championship run. That's exactly what they're going to do once again. Not going to stay on it too long. You already know what it is when you're looking at the Aces. Don't be too surprised, Candace Parker. That's pretty much what she's going to average for the season. She's going to just be coasting. She's going to be chilling. She don't got to do much. The bench, of course, they got Kayla George. And if you don't know who Kayla George is, look her up. Look at her highlights from overseas. That's a beast to have coming off your bench, backing up Audrey Wilson and Candace Parker. And if she has to play some minutes and has to go out there and ball, you're going to be in trouble because she can ball. She can drop some buckets on you, and she's really good. I enjoy what I see from her overseas. Going over to the Storm, they got Easy. They got Lloyd. They got Turner. They got Russell. Sammy. It's a rebuilding roster. This is a rebuilding roster. Yes, they got Kia Nurse, a great player in her own right when she played for for Liberty before getting injured. Was signed to the Mercury, didn't really get to play, coming back from ACL injury. We're not going to see too much from that. Jewel Lloyd is pretty much the only vet from this team. She's going to try to carry them. Of course, jacking up 25 shots. I would expect that she's the only person who can go out here and really score for them. I don't expect too much from the Storm. I don't think anyone should expect them. They're going to be in the bottom of the standings continuously. This is a rebuilding roster that was put out here, and that's what we're going to continue to see for the rest of the season. The good games that we're going to actually get from the Storm is when they play teams like the Dream, when they play the Fever. Those are going to actually be competitive-ish type games that we're actually going to get to see from them. Or when they play, who else has actually pretty low in the standing? Not when they play the Mercs. They should get destroyed when they play Mercury. Maybe even whenever they play the Minnesota Lynx. Those will be teams that we're going to see actually competitive games from the Storm. But right now, when they're going up against those upper teams, as long as they don't play down to their competition, the Storm, bottom of the barrel team, really not too much to be excited about from them at all whatsoever. I'm not going to get too excited at all watching them at all this season. It's just, my Dallas Wings, like I said, that first game, it was beautiful. I loved every single second that I watched of that game. It was a good game. They went out there. Defense was on point. from the jump. The defense was there. Game plan set in stone. It looked beautiful. Arike just stroking it from three. She took 14 3-point shots. I'm not going to lie. That's a lot. But when you look at Arike, you see her game, you see what she does out there. That is her. She has not seen a shot that she does not like, and that is what she's going to continue to do. She is very deadly when she gets hot. She dropped 27 points. I had 5 turnovers, 1 assist, 4 rebounds. I don't expect too much from the assist number, but I know the coaching staff, that's one of the things that they're wanting for her to improve upon is her playmaking, getting other players involved. They want her to do more than just the scoring. That's something that the coach has emphasized and talked about. Hopefully, we'll get to see it improve as the season goes on. But I'm not going to expect too much because I've always said this, and I still stand by this. I do believe it. There's a reason why Veronica Burton is out there and is kind of playing with the ball in her hands and it should be setting up some of these shots and some of these plays. Is because Arike is a shooting guard. She's a scoring guard. She's a score-first guard. She's not a playmaking guard. That's more of Burton's role. Burton knows what she's doing in regards to setting up the offense, getting stuff done for them out there. I don't expect Arike to average barely 2.5, 3 assists a game. But that scoring, that's what we want to see. 25 shots is a lot. I will admit that is a lot. But Natasha Howard and Satu Sabally, boy, it was beautiful game. Beautiful game from both of the bigs out there. Howard looked amazing out there and what she was able to do, especially on the defensive end. 3 steals, 2 blocks, pulling down 10 rebounds, 3 assists, dropping 20 points. Great. That's what I expect to see from Howard to continue the season. As long as she stays healthy, stays out of foul trouble, we should be good in regards to what she will bring to the table. And then, personally, my favorite player that I believe is going to be maybe 1 or 2 in regards to most improved, Satu Sabally. If you go back and watch that game, 1, she's put on weight. And it's not weight in a bad way. She's gotten stronger. I want to say she's put on about 8 pounds of weight, whether that be just weight itself and muscle. But it fits her. She looks dominant out there. She's dominating in the post, in the paint, getting to her shots, finishing around the rim. Her 3-point shot looked really crispy, really good. 5 of 3 from 3, dropped 25 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. This is what I expected from Sabally last season. Really wasn't able to get it, hampered by injuries and stuff like that. But she took the offseason. She rested. She got in the right state of mind. She figured out what she needed to do, and she came out and she looked dominant and she looked good. Unfortunately, McCowan, she got injured. I want to say it was a leg injury, so she didn't come back out. Only 4 points. Was still able to cover 9 rebounds in 15 minutes. Imagine if she was out there to play 30 minutes with everyone else. Imagine if she was out there. I'm pretty sure she probably would have had about 15, 18 rebounds in that game. They didn't have anybody to contend with her in regards to her size. Of course, Cheyenne Parker's not going to be able to contend with her. Nia Coffey's not going to be able to contend with her. None of these bigs that anyone really is going to have. The bigs that are going to be able to contend with her, that's going to be your Jonquil Jones. That's going to be your Brianna Jones. Maybe AT might be able to somewhat contend with McCowan in regards to physicality, but not height, stature-wise, or anything like that. And then Brittany Griner. Those are the players that are going to actually be able to contend with McCowan. Hopefully she comes back. She's healthy. She's fine. I know that she's supposed to be leaving to go overseas to finish her obligations that she has over there, so we are going to miss her for a little bit. But with the fact that Howard and Sabally stepping up in the way they are, I don't fear too much in regards to my Dallas Wings and what they're going to be able to bring to the table. Also, Crystal Dangerfield, a sleeper of a pickup that we were able to get right there. When you got 2 playmakers right here in Burton and Dangerfield, Wings, man. They're making the playoffs, and they're going to at least make a decent run this season. I'm not going to say that they're winning the chip. I'm not ready to say that just yet, but they're going to make a decent run, and they're going to do some things. All right, getting down here to the bottom of the barrel, down here, Minnesota Lynx. This is another team that I kind of feel like, looking what they did, this is going to be Collier's team. I still feel that. You know, I was piping that up in my DFS breakdown. This is Collier's team. 14 shots, only made 5 of them, dropped 17 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 turnovers, 4 blocks. Look good on the defensive end. Other than that, man, Kelly McBride, mid play. I mean, she's getting up there. Banham, streaky shooter. If you can actually get her to make some buckets, yes, she's gonna look good. She's gonna look great out there. But if she's not on from her shot, she's not really bringing too much to the table. She's not doing it for you, and she's not gonna be that difference maker that you're gonna need out there. Diamond Miller, I know, rookie. We're expecting a lot from her. It's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, she went out there. She was able to give you 7 points, 2 assists, 9 rebounds. You can only go up from here. Hopefully, they'll extend the leash a little bit more. She wasn't in foul trouble or anything. 22 minutes seems to be a bit low. I personally believe in, putting the feet to the fire. Get her the minutes. Let her play. Let her go out there and burn. Jessica Shepard, down game from her all around. They're going to be a middle of the pack team only because Collier, she is an MVP type player. She can carry a team. I firmly believe in her in regards to what she could do. Of course, we know she missed a lot of last season, and it's a lot to be desired from her in regards to what she's going to be able to bring. But this is her team. She's going to be able to lead this team. I have faith that they will be a middle of the pack team. So it'll be much more to be seen and desired from them in regards to what she's going to bring to the table. But that first game, that was mid. That wasn't it. We already covered the Storm. Phoenix Mercury. This right here, Brittany Griner being back is good for the league. I'm going to say that first and foremost. Brittany Griner being back is good for the league. That was one of our dominant bigs that we had out there. Seeing her out there, she looks very good, spry, running up and down the court. Looks definitely in physical shape. Played 31 minutes in the game going up against the Sky. Wasn't in too much foul trouble, if I'm not mistaken. And then in the game going up against the Sparks, she went out there and she played 25 minutes. So still, they might be trying to wean her back in, but I don't think that you need to wean her in to anything at all whatsoever. She looks like she's ready to play. She looked really good, especially in that Sky game. First game going up against the Sparks, pretty tough, I guess tough-ish game, tough-ish matchup in regards to it. Looking at it, the Sparks, they came out, they did their thing. NECA, she did her thing. She went out there. She knew what she had to do. She knew the assignment. She followed it. 17 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. Looked great. Looks bright. Chinny looks like she's definitely going to be starting the season. Hopefully she actually plays more than 24, 25 minutes in actual competitive games. Dropped 15 points. It'll be really interesting to see if she actually can continue that for the season. Chinny, she's not been a player that I've seen actually play a full season because she's always injured or something goes awry or wrong in regards to that. And then also, whenever it's just going to be really interesting to see exactly how the Sparks actually play this season. Don't think they made too much of a splash in regards to offseason moves or anything of the sort. I don't expect too much from Canada. She's more of a playmaker, not a play finisher or anything like that. Samuel, I don't expect too much. I know Katie, she's out in regards to she's pregnant, so she's not going to play probably for majority of the season. I wouldn't be surprised. Don't think that she will. Then there's Zara Stevens. I know she's dealing with an injury. Hopefully she'll be back. That right there might be the difference maker to me for the Sparks in regards to what they're actually going to be able to do. Going over to the Phoenix Mercury, the thing with the Mercury is that you have somewhat a decent roster. You got BG back. We know she can go out there. She's going to at least drop about 15 to 20 points a game. Dominant. Do what she does in regards to her defense, the blocks, the rebounding, everything, all that good stuff. Brianna Turner has never been one to give you anything. She's out there for defense, which it still kind of baffles me that she's still in the league, for one. Two, she just doesn't do it on the offensive end. That's one thing that has just killed me in regards to her. You got an Onion out there. You got her. She's decent. She go out there. I know she can put up some buckets. I've seen what she was able to do for the Lib before. And then you got old behind Diana Taurasi. No offense to DT. You're 40 years old. I know that you signed that contract to play for another 2 seasons. But DT, man, she just, I don't know. She chucks up a bunch of threes, for one. 2, she complains a crap ton to the refs. Her playmaking can still be there. Her defensive chops can still be there. But you're not going to win too many games if DT's not going to be able to be on for the whole game. Not spend half the game complaining to the refs, getting technical fouls and whatnot, or getting into it with players. And then she just wears down after the first half. She's never been one to finish the game strong over these past couple seasons. You really need Skylar Diggins-Smith to come back, which I know she's right now coming. She's working her way back from the pregnancy. She's getting fit and everything, whatnot. I've seen the IG posts and everything. So hopefully she'll be back to go out there and dominate and be able to play with a big like Brittany Griner, like what she had. She hasn't. Skylar has not had a big as dominant as BG since she played with Liz Cambage back in Dallas. So it'll be really interesting to see how that dynamic's going to work and that work in. One of the big pickups I think personally for the Mercury was the fact that they did get Mariah Jefferson. I know that she's a really good playmaker. She did really good for the Lynx last season. And she can score. She does really good on the defensive end. And I think that's going to progress as the season goes on. I will expect for her to pick it up, especially in the second half of games when DT is just DT. That's honestly how I'm gonna see it. That's how I would expect it from watching them play in both of their games, especially in the Sky game. Man, Diana, she was just complaining way too much to the refs. They had a chance to win this game. They legitimately had a chance to win this game. They should have won this game. Personally, I think the league wanted them to win this game. This was Brittany Griner's return back home. I think that the stars came out. They had a whole bunch of people courtside and everything. It was a packed arena, sold out, everything. It looked great. The game was good. Brittany Griner's out there splashing threes. I'm back. I'm back. Letting it be known. And you dropped the game. You fumbled the bag. Turnovers killed you. They just didn't bring it. I mean, on top of that, they got Kalia Copper in foul trouble. Copper barely got to play in the first half because she spent so much in foul trouble. Came back out in the third quarter, got another quick foul, had to sit on the bench. But guess what? The Sky, Wade, pat yourself on the back. You're doing good. Coached correctly. And the team just rallied around and they played correctly. You let Courtney Williams go off. You let Elizabeth Williams go ahead and do her thing, get the putbacks, get the offensive rebounds and stuff. And you let Rebecca Gardner come out there and just do whatever she pretty much wanted in regards to running around there causing havoc. She didn't have the big game in regards to what she did. It was the havoc that she was able to go out there and cause with her defensive chops and everything. But, man, they honestly should have won this game. I know, yes, you got Sophie Cunningham back. It's going to be a minute. I know Sophie, she's a bucket whenever she gets hot. But, oh boy, the Mercury, they got something to prove. They got something to do. You can't waste whenever you get in a 27-10 game for Brittany Griner. You can't waste that, especially she out there splashing threes, man. It was beautiful. I loved it. I enjoyed that game. It was still a good game to watch and to see. All right, that's it. Going over the standings. Let's look at the schedule and see what games we have coming up for the week. Looks like we have games all the way Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A couple of games on the dot. We have the Sun taking on the Mystics. That's going to be definitely a very entertaining game to watch. You have two of the top echelon-ish teams that are going to be teeing off in the East that'll be expected. And then the Lynx taking on the Dream. This should be a much closer matchup for the Lynx right here in this game. The Dream, if they come out and they're on their heads to start, it'll be really good. I expect Collier to have a pretty decent game going up in here. Cheyenne Parker going up against that matchup against Shepard. That'll be interesting to see if she still has that same production that she was able to have going up against Sabley and Howard. If she's able to do that, then the Dream might actually come out on top in that game. The Sun and the Mystics. If EDD and Austin continue to do what they did and they get the help from Cloud and Atkins, they have a pretty decent game. This will be a really close game. It'll be really interesting. But when you have Bonner, AT, Jones clicking how they're clicking and they're going, and that defense is actually not looking too bad, it's going to be interesting. I'm still going to give this one to the Mystics. I just think that they have the better all-around cast, and so I wouldn't be surprised if the Mystics do win this game and if they actually come out as being favorites in that game. This game right here, I'm going to give this one to the Dream. I just think they have a better all-around roster in regards to what they have going up against the Lynx. It's going to be interesting to get to see because Diamond Miller, she's going to be put to the test going up against the Dream as well if she gets more of a run and burn. On Thursday, we have no game. On Wednesday, we have the Aces taking on the Sparks. Just go ahead and book it for the Aces. Aces is going to come out and dominate. I really don't think that the Sparks are going to have the pieces. They look like they're trying to run everything through NECA. NECA's the focal point. She's who's going to carry the team. She's going to do what she does. That's going to be really good. If they can stay and hang in this game all the way through the first half, make it competitive-ish to start the third, then yes, it'll be a good game coming down. But if they go ahead and they lose that first quarter, don't even look back. Aces is going to probably blow them out. I'm still going to give this one to the Aces, the more talented team, especially when you look at it on paper. I would expect the Aces to actually win this game. Then we have the Lynx taking on the Mercury. Mercs should win. This will be the Mercs' first win for the week. They're going to go in there. They're going to beat the Lynx. Lynx don't have anyone that's going to be able to match up with Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner should dominate this game. She should be able to get whatever she wants, the putbacks around the rim, back Shepherds down, back Collier down. Just do what she wants to do out there. It should not be that competitive. I mean, it's going to be competitive, of course, because when you have Diana Taurasi going out there checking up 1 for 9 from 3, it's still going to be a competitive game. But I'm still going to tip my hat to the Mercury just because they have the better, I'm going to say, all-around star in this game. Yes, Collier, she's a star in her own right, but I still think that when you don't have anyone that can match up with a center, especially in this league, I'm going to give it to the team that has the better center player. Friday, we have the Mystics taking on the Sky, which will be a really interesting game to see if the Sky can continue their hot streak and stomp the Mystics with their tenacity, their pace of play, and everything. This is a toss-up right here, man. This is a toss-up, but I'm going to give it to the Mystic just because I'm expecting big things from them this season. I'm expecting EDD to go out there and play a decent game. Austin, the jump that I'm expecting for her this season. So I'm going to give it to the Mystics in this game as well. And then we have the Wings taking on the Storm. Wings win. Don't even worry about it. Storm, rebuilding, lottery team. Just go on to the next. Saturday, we got the Sun taking on Liberty. This will be an interesting game. Really interested. We're going to have Jonquil Jones facing her former team. Be really good to see. Once again, this was going to be competitive. I'm not exactly too sure who comes out on top. Brianna Stewart, she's had decent games going up against the Sun throughout her career. Jonquil Jones, how she's going to be able to play going up against a former team. That's definitely going to be interesting to see how that's going to go. What Vandersloot comes out there and plays. What Sabrina Ionescu we get. That's all what's going to dominate. That's what's going to determine how this game's going to go. I'm going to give it to Liberty just because, once again, they're a super team. They're expected to be good for this season. So I'll give it to them for right now. But we'll see as how the week progresses. And up to tip, I might give another analysis on that one. Sparks taking on the Aces. Looks like we're having a home and away split type thing. They're gonna play against each other. Once again, I'm gonna give it to the Aces, the more talented team, especially playing on their home court. I expect them to win. Such a very large gap between game times, 1 and then 9. Very, very large gap. And then on Sunday, we got the Fever taking on the Dream. Should be a close game, interesting game. 2 of the bottom teams playing against each other. Be really interested to see if the Fever come out, with a punch to start the game and not have to try to get themselves back in the game. I'm still going to give it to the more talented team in the Dream. But Aaliyah Boston, she might be able to come out there and dominate Parker. And then, of course, we have Nelissa Smith and Tiffany Mitchell. If they're able to go out there and actually do what they're supposed to do, score some buckets, and play good on the defensive end, they might actually come out on top. But Rainey Howard might be too much for them. So, it's going to be a toss-up right there, but I'm going to lean the Dream on that one. Dallas Swings taking on the Sky. You already know how this is going to end. Dallas Swings going to beat the Sky. Definitely, if the Sky have not been defeated by this point, my Wings are defeating them in this game. Don't even question it. Don't worry about it. Just go ahead. If you're betting, man, go ahead and take that bet. I'm telling you right now. Dallas Swings, they're going to win. They're going to do what they got to do. They know the assignment. They understand. Arika is going to go off as always. I know that Copper, she's going to be able to go out there. She's going to get hers, but man, I'm trying to tell you, Sably, man. Satu Sably. If you ain't seen it, go look at the highlights from that first game. She just looked amazing. Amazing again. And then the Lynx taking on the Aces. Aces win. Don't even worry about it. Lynx, bottom of the barrel-ish team, rebuilding. Again, don't expect too much from them. But yeah, that's going to be my overview for what I'm expecting for the games, on how I'm expecting it to shake out for this upcoming week. And that's pretty much my prediction. The games that I think that are going to be real big games that you're going to want to watch, that you're going to want to pay attention to, is definitely going to be this Mystics in the Sky. That game right there, just to see if the Sky are for real. That's going to be a big test for them in that game right there. Coming up here, of course, the Mystics and the Sun. This is going to definitely tell me if the Mystics can be for real and if the Sun really do have enough with only AT, Bonner, and Brianna Jones in that game. This will be a decent game to watch, but this is definitely going to be the game of that day right there. And then I'll say the Lynx and the Mercury, that this game will be the game of the day right here, just because this should be actually the Mercury figuring it out and actually getting a dub finally on the board. And then, I mean, the Aces and Sparks, it might be decent. I'm not going to say that it's not. You have Chelsea Gray and Candace Parker returning back to the team that started all for them. So it'll be a really interesting game right there. Then on today, again, the Sky Mystics, that game right there. Liberty taking on the Sun. They've had almost a week off. Definitely gotten a ton of practice in. And it'll be time to see if the Lib can continue to gel and build on their performance from their win that they got the other day over the Fever. So this will be a big test for them. Definitely game of the day right there for me on that one. And then this one right here, the Sky taking on the Wings. That's the game of the day right here for me. These two games right here, I kind of expect how I know they're going to turn out. So this game right here should be the more competitive game. Should be the game that I would expect for us to watch. And once again, like I said, Satu Sably, if she goes ahead and she pops off continuously for the rest of the week, she's going to be building her campaign as it continues to go up for that most improved player. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, talk to me down in the comment section. Let me know which game you think is going to be the game of the week for you that you are excited to see. Let me know some of the players that you guys are excited to actually watch this season, and give me some of your bold predictions down in that comment section below. Until next Monday, guys, this is your boy Zoe.